Welcome. In this lecture, we're going to be doing some play tweaking to make this game just that little bit more fun and a little bit more challenging by adding this crosshair and by moving things further away and making our launch velocity just that bit quicker. Now, if you are just looking for new Unity certification content and information, here we will just be doing some revision. So you can safely skip this if you're in a hurry, but do stay if you want to have a little bit of fun. There won't be any quiz questions at the end of this lecture, however. So let's dive right in. Okay, so we are going to be asking ourselves the perennial question of what exactly is not fun in this game as it currently stands. And for me, it's the fact that there is only one target, and we're, to be honest, a little bit close to it. It's a little bit too easy, even though I suck at this game. So what are we going to do about that? Well, that seems fairly obvious. We're going to go to the top view, and I'm going to get the hit board and goal and move those back to a sensible degree, I hope. Not too far. And you'll notice immediately that I can't seem to fire at it, and that is because we are out of range now. So we need to go to our cannon, select our barrel, and go down to the cannon script and increase the thrust. I'm going to increase the thrust to about 5,000. And correspondingly, we have to update our launch velocity too. So let's just see what our launch velocity is using the debugger. It seems to be around about the 100 mark. So I'm going to go to my barrel, no, my cannon rather, and add in 100 to our launch velocity. Okay, now let's hit play. Now we're definitely aiming at the right thing, and it does seem to be hitting squarely in the center. And it's slightly easier because the trajectory is less looped, which is okay. We could go for something slightly less, but I think I'll leave it at this for now as perhaps an entry-level difficulty, and you might go for further away rings if you are then going to have different levels of difficulty for further levels. So we're going to leave that as it is for now. And just check it out. So what I want to do now is go to my goal and duplicate this and create a few of them. So remember that duplicate is Control D, but before we do that, I want to create some prefabs of this so that we aren't creating duplicates that we'll later forget about. So I'm going to drag this goal in here. That's our goal prefab, and now I can safely duplicate these in the knowledge that if I ever wanted to change these goals, I would be able to do that. So I'm just going to place them around like this. Hit play. And there we go. We've got some oscillating goals for us to, and of, different locations. So that kind of makes it a bit more interesting. One other thing that might make it interesting is for them to be going at different speeds. So remember that we can change that. And we can change both the magnitude. So I'm going to make this one go in a larger magnitude. That should make it go faster, seeing as the time per cycle is the same. There we go. You can see that it's oscillating between those two. And this other one, I'm going to make go slightly faster. So you can choose to do whatever you like with these hoops. Let's see what we get. So that's going relatively fast, and it's going to be quite a challenging one for us to hit. Now, just notice what happened there. Sometimes I was able to illuminate them just by hitting the backboard. That means they're too close to the backboard and their triggers are getting triggered anyway. And also sometimes when I fire at the wall, things go through. That's because I need to make the hitboard slightly deeper. So I'm going to make the hitboard's Z 3. I could make it bigger even. So I'm going to make it 5. But notice that makes the goals come even closer. So I'm going to select all 3 of those goals and come to the side in X and just bring them forward a little bit. And now let's hit play. Now it should be the case that if I don't get through the hoop, I can't illuminate it, which seems to be approximately right now. And this is quite hard to do, but there we go. We seem to be getting the right sort of behavior. Except when these two overlap, they seem to illuminate each other. So that's something perhaps that we don't want to do in future versions of the game. We might choose to actually make it such that it's only the projectiles that can trigger that sort of behavior. But for now, we'll just move them further away so that they can't do that. So that seems to be better. So now I have a challenge for you. I'd like you to add a crosshair, because at the moment it can be fairly hard to know where we're aiming at. It's somewhere in the center of the screen, yes, but without a crosshair, that is pretty difficult. So let's add a crosshair. You're going to need to revise your UI knowledge that you've learned in a previous section and add in a canvas to this game. And then once you've created a canvas, I'd like you to create an image or text to be that crosshair. So you remember how to create images. You can even get images off the web, or you could use a plus from the text, whatever you like. And then place it in the center of your, that should read canvas rather than camera, in the center of your canvas. So pause the video and have a go at that. Okay, welcome back. I am going to show you how that is done. Let's not select goal, but right click and create 3D object. In fact, not 3D object, but UI canvas. There we go. So we now have a canvas. Let's focus in on our canvas and go into 2D mode. And you'll notice that the hitboard is actually obscuring it. So I'm going to just disable the hitboard temporarily with this top checkbox next to the hitboard name. Zoom in on our canvas and right click and create a new UI object. And I'm going to just be using text for simplicity's sake. Remember, you can go far more extravagant if you want to. So I'm just going to use a plus and I am going to center it and I am going to increase its font size as well as increasing its bounding box size. So font size increased and I'm going to position it there smack bang in the center of our viewport. So now if we hit play, there we go. We see that we have that aiming crosshair. However, there is a slight problem, and that problem, of course, is that we don't have a backboard anymore. So let's add in our hitboard again and hit play. There we go. And you can see that the red balls are actually hitting directly where my marker is. So this is perfect, much more fun. And we've got lots of ways that we could be tweaking this further. I'm really interested. Do go into the discussions and share your results. See what other students have been doing. And it's very easy to do. You just need to go to community.gamedev.tv and you can find this section here, the physics section right at the bottom under Unity Cert category in the subcategory physics. And you should be able to do that. Otherwise, if you go to your resources, there should be a link to this category already with the proper lecture tag added for you. Otherwise, you could search for the correct lecture tag for this lecture. Okay, we'll see you in there.